Hi, guys, and welcome back to the So Far So Good podcast. I'm Ekta.
This is Nisha.
I'm Aryan.
So, today we're going to be talking about confidence. This was Aryan's idea, and I thought it was a really, really good topic. I feel like I have a lot to say on it, and I'm interested to hear what y'all have to say.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
how do y'all want to start off?
Well, first of all, I was surprised that you guys really wanted to do an episode about this. Like, do you want to?
She's gonna be like, because you guys are the most not confident. people.
No. But like, do you guys want to kind of like talk about why you wanted to talk about this?
yeah, I can, like, the moment that I thought about this topic. Okay, so basically I was watching game 2 of the Dallas Timberwolves series.
Basketball.
The Eastern Conference final or the Western Conference Finals. And we're Mavs fans, obviously. So it was game 2. It was the fourth quarter and we were down. And Kyrie is our second best player and he was having a bad game, right? He hadn't made a 3 all series, right? So he didn't make a single 3 in game 1. And this is game 2, the fourth quarter. And he comes down and he just like stops and he's just dribbling. His defender's like right here. And he just shoots it, right? Which was, when I saw it, I was like, what are you doing? Like you haven't made a 3 all series. It's fourth quarter. We're down. I'm like, bro, give it to Luka. And then, I mean, he like, obviously he just like makes it, right? And then he just like comes down the court. He's like just shaking his head like, yeah, like this is what I do. And then like 2 plays later, again, he does the same thing. Like hand right in his face. He shoots it again. And I'm like, what is going on? And then he like his whole confidence just goes like crazy the rest of the quarter. And then I start thinking, I'm like, dang, I was really thinking about like, oh, that was a bad decision to shoot that. Then I was like, wait, this is Kyrie Irving. Like, if he's confident in the shot, then it's always a good shot, right? And I was like, that's when I like texted y'all. I was like, dang, I wish I had Kyrie's confidence.
Yeah.
Because like I couldn't see myself like taking that shot if I was like doing that bad and we were down. It's like crunch time. Because like if you think about it like logically, like that's not a good shot to take, right? But if you think about it in terms of the player, like himself, like he knows he can make that, you know?
Yeah.
He knows that's his job. And that's why he shot that, you know?
Yeah.
So it like made me think about like other like areas in life where it's like your confidence matters so much and it can affect like, cause like if he didn't have a good game in the fourth quarter, then we would have lost that game, you know?
Yeah.
So him making that shot made it so that they had to defend him closer and it gave everyone else space. And we won that game because of that, you know?
Wow.
So,
That's how much it matters.
wait, for real? He didn't make a 3-pointer the entire season?
No, the series. So in game 1, he didn't make,
okay.
like, he was struggling. In game 2, he was struggling the whole game until that shot.
And that can get to you, right?
Yeah.
Like the negativities, like where you start like really doubting yourself.
Because you get into your head, right?
That's
But then
the biggest.
I think like, I don't know what happened inside of his head, but I think he realized that like, I need to stop like trying to get like the best shot, you know? And I just need to shoot it, you know? Because I know
He's
I know
done
how
it
much
so
I've
many
practiced.
times.
Yeah.
He's done it so many
Yeah.
times.
Like I know I'm a good shooter.
Don't overthink it.
Exactly.
Someone who was not is a player that's not really confident in his abilities would never have taken that shot.
Yeah.
So that's where it matters, you know?
Yeah. And that also made me think like, because when I think about confidence, I mainly think about like sports, right? Because sports, everyone is watching you, you know? Everyone's watching you. Your
Right.
teammates are counting on you. Like if you want to be good, like be a good athlete, you need to have a lot of confidence. I feel like that's the number one thing. I feel like that's a lot of the reason why like you see people like on YouTube or you see people like in the park, they're super, super good. And you wonder like, dang, how are they not in the league? And it's probably that like when it comes to going to the next step, and like having that much pressure on you, can they still perform the same way that they always have? Like some people are just cut from a different cloth, I feel like, or they know how to like
Ignore the pressure
yeah.
and tap into that like that belief in themselves because maybe they know they've done it before. And so they can tap into that kind of.
Another thing that made me think about was, okay, so Kevin Durant, right? Everyone knows Kevin Durant, and he had this one interview.
Is he still with the Thunder?
No, he's on the Suns now.
Oh.
Oh, he's on the Suns, the Arizona.
We're not going to talk about that.
Phoenix Suns. So he was talking about in this interview when he was younger, like he was doing everything right? Like he was obviously a great player. He was surrounding himself with great players. He was working really hard. You know, he was in the gym longer than they were. He was doing everything right. And he talked about how he grew frustrated a lot because he was like, oh, I'm doing all these things correct. You know, I'm putting in so much effort, but I'm still not better than my friends. Like that's what he was thinking about. And he said one day it clicked for him that his confidence just wasn't there. Because he was so focused on being better than his friends. Meanwhile, his friends don't care. His friends are just hooping, you know?
Yeah.
They're just having fun. They're trying to be great. And he's just focused on trying to be better than others. So he said one day it just clicked for him. And he's like cut out all the like nonsense. And he just like played his game. Yes. And that's when he said he reached the next level.
Yeah.
Because he was doing all the work.
You mean like
you know?
he just kind of like leaned into it, like had fun with it?
Yeah, he stopped thinking about how he wasn't good enough, and he was like, I'm the best. You know, I know I'm the best because I put in this much work. I know I'm the best, and I know I'm better than everybody. Yeah. And it doesn't matter like if I like constantly compare myself to them every day. Yeah. You know? So it's like I feel like a lot of times like in life, it's literally just like a mental switch that you have to just flip, right?
Yes. Yep. I think okay, so Didi, you know the Mel Robbins podcast?
Yeah, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So she has a whole confidence on confidence. She has a whole podcast on confidence, and the way she defined it, I don't know if you guys will agree with this, but she said confidence is an action. It's the willingness to try. Mm-hmm. So like I do believe that because you're showing confidence when like even like Kyrie is down, but he's still willing to try. That's confidence, you know? Yeah. It's almost like you almost kind of have to fake it. Confidence is like when you really show confidence when you're unsure of your abilities, but you still do it. To me, that shows confidence. Yeah. People that are willing to do things that are uncomfortable for them, but they still go out and they'll put themselves out there, that shows confidence to me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because it shows like an innate, like, I don't know, like belief in yourself. Like, I will figure it out kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
And I think like for a lot of us, like we already put in like the hard work, you know? Like we all already put in the practice. It's like that last step that we need to take. Yeah. Where we need to be like, oh, like there's another like quote. I don't know who said this, but like they were like someone was asking them like if they got nervous before like a football game, and he was like, nervous? Like I don't get nervous. Like nervous is for people that don't know what they're doing. Like I don't get nervous. You know? Because it's that realization is like I put in all the practice. I put in all the hours. Mm-hmm. Why would I be nervous? You know? Yeah. Like this is my time to show what I put in. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this is like, I'm going to get back to the topic, but this is kind of funny. I think I must have sent this reel to you guys. I don't know if this is true, but I saw this reel that said Tom Brady, like 30 years ago, it was like his 30 years being of his career, basically. When he first got drafted, he was the 199th draft pick.
Yeah.
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 And then the comment section is just so funny. It's like, does anybody know how it turned out for this kid? You know? And I wonder if Tom Brady has done, he's probably gone to like some of those, you know, podcasts where it's, where they talk about their background. Cause I wonder how he went from, cause that must kind of suck being 199th pick, right? That's not a good thing.
So you know what he said? Like, so he was like the 6th string quarterback, you know? Like if all 5 like before him like get injured or something
like,
happens to them.
How did he?
Yeah. So he talked about like during practice, like he would probably get like a minute of playtime, right? But he'd like focus on every day. It was like for that minute, I'm gonna go so hard. I'm gonna show them that they want me. And like even if I get a minute and nobody's watching, I'm gonna play the best I've ever played because I know I'm good. You know, I know I'm that good. I know I deserve to be like the starting quarterback. So it's like that mentality, bro.
There's that conviction.
Goosebumps, dude.
That conviction.
Imagine being the 6th substitute. You know when we're watching basketball and it's like we never see the bench players, or the bench players are put in when the game is already like lost.
Yeah.
He was literally 6th in line, you know? And that like
dude, and
that
that's rare.
Is so rare.
That's rare because most people they're gonna be like, dang, bro, like now they're putting me in. Like no one even cares anymore. Like no one's even watching. Yeah.
The pressure would get to them and they would lose confidence, you know, in themselves, and they wouldn't play as well as they can.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, people fall under the pressure, and people that are confident, they do the opposite. And that's what makes them
It's that
like, great.
realization.
And isn't it like the dang it, I literally had a train of thought. Oh yeah. Isn't he like the greatest football player ever?
Yeah, like
Greatest of all time.
unequivocally, like he's the best.
No,
I mean, so like that kind of like
that
tells
gives me
you, because like
goosebumps.
sometimes I feel like, dude, are people just like born with it, and maybe genetics and upbringing definitely has, you know, something to play in that. But at the end of the day, it's almost kind of like comforting to know that these people aren't just naturally. Everyone starts at, that's something Mel Robbins said. Everyone starts at 0.
Yeah.
But clearly we're seeing the top athletes in the world. It's not like a Kylie Jenner situation, you know, self-made billionaire. It's like with athletes, like you have to put in the work.
You have to be good
You
in
have to
order
put
to
in the
gain
work.
any success.
Yeah, and everything, right? Diet, fitness, mental. And this is interesting. I don't know too much about like Mamba mentality, but that's
Kobe.
insane. Like after
Kobe's
Kobe
different.
passed away, I mean the kind of legacy, honestly.
The
Because
impact he had
Kobe
on
was
people
not at the peak of his
because
career, right? When he passed away, I wouldn't say he was.
No, he was already retired. You know,
He was already
Essentially retired.
like I think what's crazy. Okay, so Tiger Woods.
This is the episode Aryan talks a lot because it's the
Dude, I know so
Sorry.
much about.
It's nice to hear Aryan's voice on this podcast.
So Tiger Woods, obviously, he's like the best golfer
dude.
like
Yeah.
ever, right? And I there was this one interview. I just saw a clip of it. When he was young, he was probably like 19. He was just out of college, and it was like his first tournament with like pros, right? And like and this guy was interviewing him, and he basically asked him like, "Oh, do you expect to like how well do you think you're gonna do?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna win, like obviously, right?
Oh my
Like I'm going here to
gosh.
win." And the interviewer was like, "Isn't that like a bit arrogant, you know?" Like this is your
shut
first and you're going against people that have this much experience. Like, isn't it a little bit arrogant to think you're going to beat them all? And he was like, why would I go to the tournament if I wasn't going to win? Or if I wasn't thinking that I'm going to
crazy.
win?
Oh my god.
And that's all he said, you know?
Yeah.
That's all he said. Because it was so simple to him. Like, he wasn't
Yeah.
thinking too hard about it. He was like, obviously, like, I know how good I am. And he ended up doing really well in tournament. Obviously, like, his career is crazy.
But like again, like it's that thing where there is a little bit of we don't want people to think that, oh, you have this cool mindset but no practice, whatever. But I mean, although that does get you far, sometimes just thinking you are the best, because that's making me think like Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, you know, they no doubt think they are the best, no doubt, you know, they all like we've read books about these, but like with athletes, obviously that's a clear example where they're arrogant because they've done the
because
work.
they live
where
in the
they're
gym,
like,
bro. It's like that's all they do. So like, why else would they? What else would they think? Like, obviously they would think that they're better because they've done everything they can. So then, like, the last step is like the confidence, right?
Yeah.
Guys, confidence could even be like step 1, because like I said, if you're thinking about it in the terms that I said earlier, where it's like confidence is the willing to try, like you need to think that something is possible for you to begin with. That takes some confidence, right? In yourself, right? And then you practice in order to build up more confidence, right? That's the reason you're practicing. So you can feel good that you will win this tournament or whatever it is. But yeah.
That's what Mel Robbins was saying, like, because I like that in her podcast she focused on, well, how do you build confidence, right? And then I like that she was like, confidence is action, so it kind of gets you there too, like just through everything you still gotta act, you know, you still gotta like raise your hand in that meeting to, otherwise you're not. And she was saying basically the more you put yourself in that situation, so again, this comes to practice, right? The more you put yourself in the uncomfortable situations, the more confidence you're gonna get, and that conviction that I can do this.
Yeah, that's all it took. I just needed to raise my hand.
Why am I worried
know?
again? Why am I worried again?
Because you do well, because you practice, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, it makes sense why you did well. Like, it's not like some magic thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But even like, let's say you didn't practice, if it's something like raising your hand in class, right? If you never do it, you will always be at 0 confidence when it comes to that. You do it once and it's like they answer your question or like whatever, then you feel like you can do it again because you have seen how it plays out. Nothing bad happens. The more you do it, the more confident you become in like speaking up.
Then you don't think twice about it. It's like a muscle.
So if you're just sitting
You gotta
there
work
and
it.
you think
You can't
that
wait for the
one day
feeling to come to you.
Yeah. If you
That's-
think that one day confidence will just come to you,
You gotta put in the work.
It's literally practicing. It's practice. You put yourself in uncomfortable situations, you see how that turns out, and you realize maybe what you can do better, or you realize your brain is not so scared of it anymore.
Yeah.
I think I remember you had like a story one time where you like asked a question during a meeting and like
Guys, I
you
had a
didn't even
panic
remember the
attack.
question or something or
Wait, no,
Something
I
like-
genuinely had a physical reaction, and I am still not very
Because of public
confident.
speaking.
Yeah.
Speaking.
The thing I do is like in classrooms and stuff, it is so freaking rare for me to raise my hand. Because I don't do it very often, like in my mind, it's such a big task. And then I see these people that are always doing it. Like it's always the same people always raising their hands, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it's because they have practice with it. Yeah, I literally had a panic attack because our CEO was in town, and it was like, he was like, do y'all have any questions? I had a question I really wanted to ask, but in my head, I was so terrified that it gave me a physical reaction. I still asked the question.
Yeah.
So-
That's crazy.
That happened.
And that's huge, and it's so much easier after that.
It's so much easier after
Yeah.
that. So I want to ask you guys, what, like, first of all, would y'all say you're pretty confident people? I know it depends on what aspects, but generally, let's rate. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident of a person you are.
I feel like for me, it's very much transitioned. Like I feel like before we moved to the States, I was a very confident person. I just remember
Before?
remember yeah, like in Nepal and stuff, because I still have memories of that.
Oh.
Like in like the school days, early school days, like I was super confident. Like I wasn't worried about anything, and I was just. But then like coming to the U.S., I just like immediately started. I don't know what happened, but like I think we were just very raised in a very sheltered, like if you do this, you're gonna mess up and they're gonna arrest you. If you do this,
Ignore that.
that's annoying.
Oh,
Okay.
now Duke's barking.
It's okay. But yeah, like I really don't know, because like I tend to like, I don't know, so weird. I just block out, or I can't remember. Maybe it's unpleasant memories or whatever. But I just always felt like when you move here, you just realize how different you are from everyone else.
Yes.
You
Like
know?
there's a stark contrast, so you start noticing things, and then you become maybe
And we
more
started
like-
from like not knowing literally anyone.
yeah,
You know, it was just and we didn't even speak the language really. Although I don't remember like struggling to speak the language. Thank goodness we were young, and you know, we easily picked it up. But I think like in the school days, like my confidence like was definitely like all time low. But then like in college, like it slowly started picking back up. And then like I feel like now like I push myself more, and I'm like, you know, like slowly just starting to, it's a little bit, it's on the rise, but I wouldn't say I'm like this super high confident person. No, I feel like I'm like, I'm still like very much a people pleaser, but I am kind of like slowly in certain parts of my life where I'm becoming less of that. Like I'm just getting tired of it.
What do you think about college, or what was it in college that made you more confident? Like, what was the biggest factor in changing that mindset for you?
I think it was just, again, like I went to a college, like it felt like a fresh start, and I went to a college where I didn't know anyone, and I had to put myself out there to be able to make friends. But then I also feel like I started assimilating more easily into the American culture. I feel like.
Maybe
don't
because
know.
your family wasn't there with you.
Maybe.
So, like,
Yeah.
you
I think that
literally-
might be true. Like there wasn't like voices everywhere being like, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. I was
Yeah.
kind of like just taking risks, and I was just like having fun. And obviously there were some downsides to that, but I feel like that's the thing. Taking risks increased my confidence.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in certain parts of my life, like I know, because, you know, I've like gone through so many job interviews and stuff. I know I can do it. I know I can land like the next job, or I know how to do that. I'm not scared of that, you know? So there are certain things, and I feel like right now, like in my personal life, I would say I'm pretty confident. At work, like I'm just constantly being put in places where I like literally don't know. Like it's like I have to start from zero. But something new that I wrote, like again at work, like I have some really good days where I just push myself and I'm like, whatever, you know? And I literally wrote today, like just to remind myself, like just I have this fear of like, oh, I'm gonna sound dumb. Oh, I'm gonna look stupid. But then, like, how many meetings have you been in where someone else asked the dumbest question ever, and you're like, really, you know? And then it's that thing about like, I know I put in the work, and I know that whatever question I ask, it's actually not gonna be dumb. Like 99% of the chance, it's actually like, dang, someone had to say that. You know what I mean? So I actually just told myself, be dumb. Be crazy, be the weirdo, which is so a little scary because like I'm like, oh, I don't want to get fired. But I just put that, I'm like, whatever, who cares? But then I also have that confidence now, I would say, because of finances, like being in a good financial place. Like if you, I've created like my security. Like if anything were to happen, I have something to.
You're more willing to take risks.
Because I have security.
I like have to say that I feel like you are one of the most confident people that I know.
Yeah.
And you might say like, yes, maybe you're insecure about certain things, but when it comes to speaking to people, you are like, I literally always just rely on you. I just let you do the talking because you will talk to people that, I don't know, that you don't even need to talk to, you know? Like whenever we do a workout class, like Didi always goes to the instructor and introduces herself. Like she's one of those people. And that alone makes you stand out so much compared to anyone else that I know, because I actually don't even know if I know anyone else like that.
See, I think that's the thing, right? Like I feel like in a way these Zoom meetings or work meetings where we have our cameras off, it's harder for me to like really judge. But actually I do think that's something I've become really good at now. Like where I'm not worried about, although it's very nice if I have one other person to bounce back off of, but I think like speaking to people, I'm okay. Like in person, I can make it work
like,
no matter
literally,
what age.
I think the best that I know. I consider myself like I can speak to people pretty easily. But you're just like, you go out of your way to do it. It's almost like you're practicing or something. I don't know.
My challenge is just that, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but like sometimes I'm like, dang, Nisha, you can't shine too much because you're going to offend everyone. You know what I mean?
Wait, what?
Like things like I guess it's a matter of knowing what setting you're in. Where like, do you ever feel like you have to hold back on saying certain things? Like obviously like politics or like, but like, it's not fair how someone else is allowed to say their political opinion. And then you can't be like, well, you're dumb.
If it's like people you're just now meeting.
Just now
like
or even
like
known.
Wait, are you talking about like sometimes like you feel like maybe you're being obnoxious because you're being too loud and you're being too like forward?
Yeah, like I guess it's more like with the elder crowd, you know, where like you're just like
you have to hold back your personality, because
or even with like not friends, but I guess new friends for sure. But I guess that's just life, right? You gotta kind of test your ground.
Like when you first meet someone, you want to act like you give them a less toned down version of yourself, not your full self.
Yeah.
I feel like that happens a lot.
I mean, I feel like that's like okay, you know.
Right.
You don't want to scare them off, you know.
Yeah, like oh my god. Yeah. Wait. So okay, Aryan, what about you?
Yeah,
what
I was thinking
has your
about
confidence?
Okay. So there's like different types of confidence, right? It's like there's like public speaking confidence. There's like social confidence, like
exactly
introducing yourself to people, and there's also just like confidence in your own abilities, like taking like an exam or something. Like people usually get really nervous, like stuff like that. I feel like academically, just because I've always had people around me saying that I'm like really smart or whatever, that helps my confidence a lot. You know, that makes me think that I don't have to.
Validation helps.
Yeah, that helps so much. I feel like even just like teachers and like your friends,
siblings,
you know,
you're like I am.
So like I'm like never nervous for like up to like college, and then I started getting nervous again.
Then you went with other valedictorians.
Public speaking wise, like I'm like throughout like pretty much like my whole life, I'm like, I need to practice, you know? If I have to give a presentation or something like that,
100%.
up until like the past couple of years, like I'm like, I need to like practice this. I need to make sure I get it right. Cause I don't want to forget something. I don't want there to be like awkward pauses and stuff like that. And also you're being like graded too, you know? It's like, I need to make sure I remember everything. And the only way I can do that is for me to practice and drill it. And then once I get like to the actual thing, I sound confident, you know? I sound like I know what I'm talking about. Everything goes well, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, until like the past, because like what happened was like last semester, I had like so many presentations at the end of the semester that I had to do that I was like, I can't practice all of these, right? But I had done so many presentations before that I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna wing it, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna write down all
That's
the
a
points
risk.
I want, you know?
It's a risk,
And because I know I've like put so many hours into doing this project, so I know everything about the project, you know.
And
like,
you've spoken before multiple times to where you had confidence.
So it's like, and those all went well too, and I think that's like, yeah, it comes from the matter of like repetition, you know. Like you've done it before, you've done it so many times, so that's fine. Social, I feel like I didn't really have to ever worry about that until college, because like you already know everyone, you know. Because like we lived in the same like. We went to the same elementary school, middle school, high school as like all of our friends, you know? So it's like you don't really have to meet new people, or like, I mean, you do kind of, but it's like also that you're already like in the same class, you're already sitting next to each other. It's way easier to talk to people, you know, that way.
Yeah.
You put it into like the same groups or whatever. College was different though. College, I didn't know anybody. I knew like nobody, you know?
Yeah.
And I think what helped the most in college to build my confidence to like just like go up and talk to people is like being surrounded by confident people. Because like all my friends, I feel like, or like most of my friends are like super confident, you know?
Oh, I love that.
Like they have zero, they don't think twice about like going up to like talking to people.
So this is
I've seen
is an example of who you surround yourself with. You freaking
Huge.
pick that up.
Yes.
You pick that up.
Because I would be thinking sometimes like, dang, did you really just go up and like talk to them? I'm like, what? Like you don't even know. And, and then like they just start talking like so easily. I'm like, oh, it's really not that hard, you know?
It's all in the head.
Yeah. And still, but even when I do that, I'm like practicing what I'm gonna say in my head too, you know?
I think like, do you guys think like you almost have to, because like, aren't you saying like, you know, you go into the test and then, or like presentation, you're like, I already practiced, I'm just gonna do it. Like I'm gonna wing it. I worked hard for it. Like you almost also have to kind of, in order to let go and take that risk, you almost have to be okay with the outcome. Yeah. Like you have to be like, I don't care. Like I literally did everything, and I'm gonna go give me. What else can I give?
And also, if you think about it, like in the grand scheme of things, it's like, what's the worst that could happen? You know, like at the very
that
worst,
always helps
you know,
me, man. That
it's like
always
everyone
helps
else
me.
is also human. You know, they're gonna get it if you mess up. You know, like no one's gonna be like, this guy's so stupid. Like, you know, like that's just not gonna happen. Like it's just unrealistic.
Something Mel Robbins was saying was, and I completely agree with this, is like, again, what's the worst that can happen? The worst, like there is no worst, because you're gonna learn, and that learning,
you're gonna learn.
It's like
right?
that's gonna teach you like, oops, I messed up. So what? Now I move on. It's tough though. It's like sometimes mentality gets in the way
of things that you've been through in life. Like the better person you kind of become for it. You learn something from it. It just feels like you're just building yourself up. You're giving yourself more experiences. You're building yourself up as a person. And I think those types of people are the more successful people. Anyone who's had it easy in life is not successful in their own way. And they don't have the confidence because they haven't been through anything hard.
You got to go through stuff.
An embarrassing thing like that, it's like just add that to like things you've been through in life. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you're just going to become a better person at the end of it.
One thing I just thought, I think you talked about this one time. It's like, it's not like the smartest person in the room. It's like the most confident person in the room. That's who people listen to, you know?
For sure.
Like sometimes you realize like this guy doesn't even know what he's really talking about, but he's getting all these people to listen to him, and like he's making it sound like he just knows what he's talking about. It's just such a huge skill to have, I feel like.
If you believe, I was listening to this other podcast, like I guess after creating our podcast, I started listening to some more podcasts. But this lady's name is Jessica Chen Spellings, and she interviews CEOs, and so one of the people that she interviewed was this the ex-CEO of Vimeo, and her name was Anjali Sood. And Anjali, wait, where am I going with this?
Stop. You don't know?
Oh, okay. No, now I remember.
Cut that out.
We're not cutting that out.
No, I'm definitely like scanning both of y'all's faces, like the look on y'all's face. But like, okay, now I know. She was saying that like, you have to be, that thing about like belief, right? Like if you are so crazily, like you have this conviction that this is going to happen, like other people are going to like naturally gravitate towards that. You know, she was saying she had a lot of conviction where she was just like that, you know, that lets you like have confidence too.
Guys, I love hanging out with confident people. Like hanging out with people that are not confident, it like sucks energy out. You know, you have to put in the effort. You have to become like, you know, like you have to lead a conversation because they're not doing it, because they're not like really confident in speaking or anything like that. They're not putting conversation topics out there. And like, think about like you're going to a party and you go with a confident friend who's like bringing the energy up. She's like, yeah, let's go over there. Let's go talk to them or whatever. And then you go to a party with a friend that's not confident and she's like, they're just like, oh,
Act
I'm
is
so
clearly
scared to talk
speaking
to
from
people.
example.
Like, I'm like, yeah, like it like brings that energy to you, you know? And so it's like, you don't want to be that person.
Life is definitely way more fun when you take more risks. You just put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's more fun. You can have more
And like
fun.
something else that I was thinking about today was like, how many times have you been like, man, I wish I said that, or like, man, I wish I asked that question because someone else asked that question and they looked all smart, or like, just, you know. So it's kind of like, do you want to live your life continued with more regrets? Because that I feel like eats away at me sometimes. You're just constantly thinking about it, or do you just want to like get it over with, be yourself, and see the outcome of it, and then now you're just like, oh, okay, I don't really regret it. You know what I mean? I feel like people regret more of the things that they didn't do than maybe they did.
Oh yeah, that's
right?
that's a good life lesson.
Quote it.
Yeah.
Regrets.
Because the things you did do, if they don't work out, you learn from it, you know?
Yes.
But if you never did it, then you're regretting not doing it and you're regretting like something you could have learned.
Yeah.
At the
Yeah.
same
Guys,
time.
even
You're almost
this
proud of yourself.
podcast.
I feel proud of myself. Do you guys feel proud of yourself whenever like you do something that you were uncomfortable
Oh,
and then you did it?
That's the best feeling.
It's
bro.
that feeling.
When-
You're like, I pushed myself.
Taking on
Yes.
something you didn't know how to do, then learning how to do it and successfully completing it there is no better feeling than that.
Any
in the world.
examples? I'm trying to think
What, like where
of when we did something new.
Well, I feel like I do that all the time at work.
I feel like a lot of times, yeah. So like for me at work, it's been mostly like being put in situations where like honestly I didn't have a choice, and then I was like, all right, well I'm gonna give it my best.
Yeah.
You know, and if it doesn't work out, well, you
Yeah.
chose me to do this. You know what I mean? It's your fault. You know that, but I
Work
don't know.
is
Can you guys
so
think of
good.
something else?
I feel like work has been the biggest contributor to my confidence because I am constantly being put in a situation where I'm uncomfortable. Like I'm constantly given stuff that I don't know how to do, but
Wow.
like
I
I
didn't know
have to
that.
figure it out and I do it. And so that in turn has been building my confidence so much. And then also I work from the office a lot and I see so many people every single day. There's so many people that work at my company. And I feel like there was a moment in time when this clicked for me. And I feel like I've already talked about this, but sometimes it's awkward. You go into the break room and your coworker's coming in and you just like, your initial instinct is just like, oh, I don't want to say anything. I hope we don't talk. Like, I just want to grab
it's
my,
just
grab my
you
snack
and that
run.
person.
Like,
Yeah.
that's because that's the more comfortable choice, right? And then one day, I
Facts.
was like, I just told myself, like,
Try.
you know what?
Remember, just
I-
do it. That's what
yes.
Mel Robbins was saying.
I'm
Just
gonna-
try.
Yeah, I'm going to just put myself out there. And every single, like, when someone comes in, I'll always say hello. That's all I have to do. But I'm always going to say hello. If you don't say anything at all and y'all walk past each other,
Weird.
I feel like, first of all, it's a missed opportunity for a connection with someone. All you had to do was say hello. If you don't say anything, then that's your relationship from now on. You guys are just like never going to talk.
Yeah.
And it's like a missed opportunity. Just
of
say
whatever
hello.
could have been.
Yeah.
Maybe that could be a great relationship where again you're like, clearly we don't click, or she's not
And
that into it. Yeah.
Because every new relationship just starts out with someone saying something,
Yes.
you know?
Your relationship can purely be you look at each other and smile every single time, and that's it. And that's so much more comfortable than being in the break room and being like, oh no, this person again that I have to, you know, like basically ignore, you know? It takes energy to do that versus just like hello. And another thing it taught me was like how to make small talk. Yeah. Guys, that is so freaking important. Once you unlock that, once you stop being the type of person that's like, I hate small talk or blah, blah, blah. It's just like...
It's just awkward in Zoom meetings because I hate having small talks when I can't see your face.
Oh, I know. I'm like, that's happened to me.
Dude, if I can't see your face, I'm not talking,
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, no. I'm just going to be like, hi. And then we're going to wait until...
You put yourself on mute.
Because
you don't want to talk to someone that doesn't want to be talked to.
Because I feel like in Teams meetings, it's like, come on now. Like, look, I think we're all just... Teams is not the place to have small talk, honestly speaking, unless everybody has their video camera on.
Teams, for sure.
But I do match other people, though. If someone else has their video on, I'll turn it on.
Yeah. In person, just be that person because it also eases some tension from the other person there, you know? If you are the first person to say hello. That, and yeah, like I said, when it comes to work, always figuring things out that I didn't know before builds up that confidence that I can figure anything out. I genuinely think I'm such a good problem solver now because I've had to do it so many times to where even if it's something I don't know, I would be willing to try it because I have the confidence in myself that I can figure it out. So I think work is so good for that.
Question.
So freaking
good Aryan, do you have a thought of when you felt?
I mean, same thing pretty much. I feel like work is like the first time where I've been like so out of my element, you know?
Yeah.
Because even like just like in school, you know, like you know what to expect all the time. I feel like work, you know, like everyone knows more than you know?
Yeah.
Everyone has way more experience.
Dude.
You feel out of your element. You feel like you're not supposed to talk. But it's like, yeah, that's when like I really like credit my manager. She was like, I don't even care what the question is. I just want you to say something, you know?
Wow.
Like I don't care what the question is. Like I don't care about anything. As long as you raise your hand and you say something, like that's all I want to hear.
See, that's insane because some managers are like, oh, don't outshine me, or like
that's just crazy.
Don't embarrass me.
To
it's like that's the thing, but that's just people, right? So a lot of people don't get leadership right.
Guys, but even the higher ups, they're practicing confidence every single day. They too are just normal people that don't know everything, but what they've mastered is like confidence and how to speak up. I am serious. Like I've been in the same company for 5 years and now I know finally, like you guys don't really know that much, but you just have this era of confidence, this aura of confidence. And that's what they learned. That's the most probably important lesson they learned in the last like 10 years, however long they've been in their career.
Again, like the challenge is, you know, whenever, just like we saw with Tiger Woods, like how he was like, I'm here to win. And the other person was like, don't you think you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's the tough part. You know, like you gotta like, how do you overcome that where you shut these negative Nancy's
you
out?
have to like realize like people that say that are probably just insecure themselves, you know? And they're jealous of how confident
100%.
you are, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
which is,
there have been so many times where I've been like, yeah, that person's like I've come to like now when I see people speak up and they actually have things to like back up of, you know, I respect them.
Yeah.
I respect them. I used to be like, dang, she's embarrassing herself. And then they go far in life. And I'm like, oh.
Just like Tiger Woods went far in life. Yeah. I now appreciate anyone, like just meeting someone that's confident. I know there's a difference between arrogance and being confident, but don't
worry about it, right?
Don't worry about that.
That's almost like not. I'd rather you be arrogant and confident than like not have confidence at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Honestly, what's worse? I don't know.
But like, I also feel like sometimes I get too lazy. You know, where like whether it's work or like whatever, I'm like, ugh, whatever. Let me just get through it. It's like not say anything. Let me just. Whatever, this is boring.
But that's where like.
But then that's almost like, nah, you're cheating yourself. You're like.
Yeah, you're losing out on opportunity.
You gotta try to learn. You gotta push past it. Because I almost feel like sometimes my laziness is almost veiled in like I'm too scared to try. Like what's gonna happen if I do the next thing? Then I'm almost giving myself more work or like whatever it is.
Yeah. So have y'all ever been in a uncomfortable situation where you kind of had to like force confidence?
Bro, all
like
the
does
time,
anything
all the
stand
time.
out to you?
Force confidence.
Yeah, we're obviously not confident wherever we go.
I guess like obviously like places like parties and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
Like
honestly
especially
happens all the
when
time.
you don't know people.
That's
Like
what you gotta-
God, like you have to just
Oh
like
my god!
somehow.
And then there's drinking. You know, a lot of people drink
That's liquid
to like.
confidence. Is that
Liquid
literally what it's
confidence.
I've never heard.
And
of that.
I like people are gonna be like alcoholic. No, I don't like to drink. I don't drink at home. Like I got a disclaimer, but I think I
Wait,
have.
why did you have to? No one asked.
I don't know.
for
Nobody
that.
asked
one
for that.
asked, bro.
But like
Oh
I
my
definitely
God.
feel like I almost used alcohol like at many points in my like life where I'm at a party and I'm like, dude, I need something to help like take the edge off, right? And I did that, which I feel like sometimes is okay.
Just
Yeah.
okay. I feel
And
like.
again,
It's okay
but again, it is a good challenge. Challenge yourself
Yes.
to go to a party sober, but you like try it. Just see what happens. Whatever happens, happens. Because at the end of the day, like this is where I get my confidence for people. Sometimes is like, dude, if you can't accept me as this, I don't want you in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want you in my life.
Are you guys more aware of what you say and do now that you're older, or less?
Aware of what I think I
Less.
don't think about it as much. Yeah.
You
Same.
don't think about it as
You're
much?
like IDGAF. You're like you're not
Yeah.
trying to fit in anymore because I feel like in school you were trying to fit in. Now it's like you get to choose your life. You get to choose who you want in your life.
I feel like
I'm
after COVID, I became a little bit more like nervous or anxious.
Which
After
makes sense.
COVID,
'cause-
what did COVID have to do
I
with
mean,
this?
COVID is
Because
like
I literally
you're at
only
home
saw
all the
y'all
time.
for 2 years.
Yeah.
like,
Huh?
I only saw y'all for 2 years because we were working from home, like yeah. And so now I am just a little bit less, I don't know, comfortable. I think a little bit more about what other people are gonna say, but I'm trying to again like work through that. I think confidence is something you work on your like entire life basically, and if just like COVID did for me, if you take a 2 years break from practicing it, it's game over.
When was COVID-19? So it was like in 19. Actually, it's been so long.
Yeah, wait, right?
It's been
That's-
10
how long
years
has it
later.
been?
Active was like, guys, COVID-19.
No, and obviously it's gotten better since then, but that's definitely something I noticed. Yeah, I think one thing we need to talk about is like, yeah, confidence helps you become more like successful. It helps you live a better life because you're not so worried about what people
and
are
you're
thinking.
pushing you're being more true to yourself.
But I
right?
think not having confidence like will like destroy you in life.
You will not
like
live
you
your
will
life
be a
to your
loser
fullest.
for the rest of your life. Like I'm sorry.
Oh no!
I'm sorry.
No, don't
I'm
call
sorry.
them a loser.
If
Act
you
is just
don't
being real. Act is
practice-
just being real.
practice like putting yourself out there, you're never ever ever
You're not gonna
going
reach
to
your
achieve
potential.
anything
You're
in
gonna be a
life.
loser because you're gonna be relying on other people for
Yes,
everything.
yes,
Dude,
to
even
carry you
stuff
through
like
everything.
you go to dinner and they get your order wrong. Like an unconfident person is not gonna tell the waiter like they're just gonna eat whatever they get. You
Yeah,
know,
well,
It's
I
like
get
stuff
that.
like that. You know,
Over.
like they're always expecting someone else to do it. You know, you don't want to be that person.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the opportunity you're missing by not practicing confidence in your daily life is big.
Guys.
So I think you just like, you have no choice. You must. And it's like we said, everyone who's confident now has worked through it somehow.
Started from zero. Remember that. They did
Yeah.
start from zero. Again, like the way you were brought up definitely has a lot to do with that. I feel like I don't want to like pull on mommy and daddy's legs, but
Oh.
I feel like our parents like very much like sheltered us, and they were very much always scared what's gonna happen to them. So I felt like I personally, I think maybe because I'm the oldest and I'm their first child, like I felt more of that, where it was like, don't take risks. Don't do this.
Oh, that's a big
like
thing.
the
with
one
Asian.
example, like I'm never gonna get into it on this podcast, but like that one example of where like a family member did take a lot of risks that turned negative. You know what I mean? So that's always it's always kind of kept me in this, like, I felt like, but that shouldn't be your crutch. It's like, it's a muscle, and you can't change your mind. You can't change your brain. It's just not overnight.
Yeah.
You
I mean, obviously,
have to put in the work.
confidence can definitely turn into like arrogance, you know, and like making dumb decisions and things like that. But we're not targeting those people, you know. Those people don't need to hear this. They're already confident.
I feel like arrogant people are actually like, they don't have high confidence. Like they
I think it's like they have too much confidence in themselves. Like they think they can do anything.
I think that's rare though. Like, don't be worried,
dude. But I would love to have that.
Stops people like if you're so worried about being arrogant, like, you hold yourself back. Don't you think? I don't think you should worry about that.
That's what I'm saying. It's
so
like
rare.
those people aren't even like paying attention to it. It's the people that are like trying to work on their confidence.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. If
That
you're,
can get the most out of it.
Yeah.
Wait, can we do a time check?
Oh yeah. Or
So 46.
We're gonna wrap up.
We gotta wrap.
Maybe, guys, one thing we could do is we could do a part 2. I would love to have, actually, like, once we can afford more microphones, some guests on here where we actually bring forward, or we don't have to, like, some people that we think are the most confident people we know, confident people. And, like, let's just learn from them a little bit. Like, okay, what was your background like? And, you know, let us know if you guys are interested in that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and hope you'll have a really good week. And we'll see y'all next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Peace.